This tutorial is going to cover saving a document. You will learn the difference between using the save function and the save as function, how to change the file type, and also how to create a folder to save your documents in. Understanding how to save a document is important so you don't lose the material that you're working on. So saving frequently as you're working is encouraged because sometimes there could be a technical issue, as well as when you are wanting to save something to the computer, it's important to know where you saved it and how to access it later. So we are going to cover saving a document and some options with saving. First thing I'll show you is that up here, this blank document, it generates a default name for our document. So it says document 2. Once you begin typing, so I'm going to type a simple sentence here. Okay. Now if we were to save this, you could either click the floppy disk, which is save. It's going to prompt you really to go to save as, because when you've not saved anything the first time, you need to do a save as option. And the reason for that is save as allows you to designate where you want to store your file. It also allows you to rename your file. And so you'll notice here you also have save or save as. So save is if you've already designated where you want it to go and you've already named your file. If you just make a simple change, you've updated a number or changed the font and you just want to save the new changes, that's when you will select save. So as saving for the first time, you want to do save as. Since this document's never been saved before and I click the floppy disk, it automatically defaults to a save as in this case. I'm going to hit this little back button. This is handy too because sometimes people get here and they realize they didn't mean to come to this page and they want to get back to their document. You just click the little back arrow. Most of the time though, I don't actually end up clicking this floppy disk. I actually go to File, which will get us to the same place, and then go Save As. So when you click Save As, now it's time for you to designate where you want it to store to. Typically for beginners especially, and even for myself, I tend to save to my desktop a lot because then I know exactly where to find it. I haven't forgotten where I saved it to. So I would encourage you, for today's purpose, I'm going to show you saving to your desktop. However, if you are more technical savvy and you have a floppy disk, not a floppy disk that you want to save it to, but a flash drive rather, another disk drive that you want to save it to, you can select that document. As well as if you have another location you want to store under downloads or whatnot on your computer, feel free to do that. Today's purpose though, we will save to the desktop. So I'm going to click desktop here, which will then pop up another box. Within this box, you need to select your storage location again. And here on the left hand side, I call these the storage cabinets, your filing cabinets. So where am I going to file this document? As said before, we're going to file it on our desktop. You'll notice the file name, it wants to predict what we want to name this as our sentence. Most of the time that's not going to be the case of what you would want to name your document. So go in here and change the file name. I'm going to change this to test document 2020. Underneath it will tell you the type of document you're saving it as. In most cases, you're not going to switch this. You'll just leave it as is, Word document. And then we will click Save. You'll notice at the top, the name of our document has now changed to Test Document 2020. If I go to my desktop, so I'm going to minimize here quickly, we should be able to find, and my desktop is really messy, as I told you, I usually always save to my desktop. We should be able to find where we have saved test document 2020 to my desktop. Okay, I think I found it. I did. So my desktop does have the file here, test document 2020. So now if I make a simple change, so I change the font, let's say, and I want to resave this, I should just be able to hit the floppy disk and hit save. And so now it's updated my changes. And that's really the difference between save as and save. So save as is going to make you decide where to store it and what you're going to name it. The little floppy disk here, since we've already saved our document, will now save the new changes. Whether I change a color, this is going to be just a simple save. You don't have to run through all of those steps again. There is a way you can also create a folder to save your document into, and I want to show you that as well. So if you go File, Save As, Desktop, and click Desktop again as our storage cabinet. But let's say we wanted to put this in a file folder that we're going to be creating for our test documents. You would click New Folder, and I can say I want to name this new folder Test Documents. And I want to keep this document name the same. I can click Open, and now you'll see that this folder is empty. Here's the desktop where it's storing to. Here's the folder, Test Documents. And now I can click Save. If I minimize and go to my desktop, now I see my folder, Test Documents. And in this folder, now I have my Test Document 2020 item. And if I click here, now my information that I typed previously shows up. One other thing with saving that I will show you that you can do is to actually change the file type. So I told you before, you'll generally keep it the same. Sometimes though, somebody may have a preference that you change the type. A lot of times that may be the PDF. For your resume though, this is just a preface. You really want to make sure you have two options for your resume, a Word and a PDF if asked to have one in PDF, because if you put it in only PDF, you cannot make any changes very easily. So if your work history changes or your phone number changes, you're definitely going to want to have one in a Word document. So what we'll do is I'll show you how you can change the file type so that you have this document in two different types, a Word type and a PDF. So you can go to File, Save As, Desktop, and Desktop again. We're going to leave the name the same. All we're doing is changing the type. So I know when I was in college, sometimes they would say I want it in the 97-2003 document type. I could click here and it would auto format it to that type. For today's purpose, we're going to change it to PDF. So we'll go PDF and click Save. So now this document has switched into a PDF. And here's the new PDF version. See it here, and it's got the red outline. And this is why you want to make sure you also have it in the Word. Because to create, edit, or sign any PDF forms, to make changes, you have to pay a subscription. Okay? So you don't want to have something only in PDF because you'll never be able to change it without having that subscription. You'll know that it's a PDF. I'm going to go to my desktop again. Here's our test document 2020 in PDF. Again, you see the icon with the red here. That says PDF. Okay, so that summarizes saving a document, saving it as a save as, just updating a document and saving it, and changing the document type as you save it, and creating a folder for you to save your documents to.
Thank you for watching. Stay tuned for more content. Please like, share, and subscribe to our channel.